up, people? It's your boy the Kryptonian saying here, bringing you a review for One Piece Chapter 361. And that ending, oh shit, Sanji. I just gave Sanji a compliment. I said, man, that dude Sanji, man, you know, the tactician of the crew. And then he just turns around and mollywops the fuck out of the guy who comes out while he's trying to have a smoke. He's complaining he can't smoke. The guy comes out, he's like, oh shit, who are you? And it's like in Metal Gear where you get discovered, you hear like the little sound effects, and it's just like, oh shit. And Sanji says, okay, bam, just kicks this dude through the door, and it's just like, you were supposed to sneak in. Why not just throw this dude overboard and sneak the fuck in? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like, oh man, this was, that was a letdown for me, but at the same time, it was one of those moments, because it's at the very end, where I laughed my ass off out of frustration, but also because I thought it was funny. And this is the benefit. I get to read this in bunches, right? If you are reading this from the beginning, that's a hell of a way to end the chapter. Because now you're going, oh shit, what's going to happen next week? And you have to spend the whole week. God forbid Oda was on a break, or the manga was on a 3-week hiatus or something. Or like with Bleach, where Bleach took like a 6 or 8 week break. Like, God forbid something like that happened. I could just imagine how antsy the fandom would be at this point. So that was cool. Just ending the chapter on a cliffhanger. Really nice note. And speaking of notes, man, dude Sanji with the PS I love you note. Oh shit. You know, this is one of those moments where I look at Sanji and I see stuff that I would do, right? You know, I remember one of the things I did, right? It was not too long ago. One of the things I did was I wrote a note, and I already knew the answer. But I wrote a note, folded it up, and I was like, do you like me? Yes or no? And just like check one. And it was a gag, right? But it was something that wasn't being expected. And it's just funny, you know, like that was cool, man. I'm one of those people, you know, I do better when I write how I feel. And you know, write how I feel in notes, and just in general. Like, I can speak, but I'm better when I put my words on paper, right? And so just seeing how Sanji was just trolling the fuck out of whoever would have read that note first, because he wrote it in big bold letters on the top of the building, where it's like, read this, and then on the side, if you're not Nami, don't read it, idiot. But the first half of it is a love letter, right? And I believe Nami wrote it as a nonsensical love poem, right? And Sanji is just like, yo, I'm going after another woman, baby, but you're my main girl. And it's really cool how when you look at it, and I just trash Sanji for not being tactical, but it was smart, because let's just assume that someone else picked it up, right? Sanji has some very incriminating information in that note. But what he did, instead of putting it at the very beginning, he wrote this love poem. So now if you read it, you go, oh, okay, whatever, I'll put this back down. This is some very private stuff. You know, one of the things that I know from experience is, you know, people are very uncomfortable with public shows of affection. Very uncomfortable. You know, people see two people kissing, and, you know, most people, at least from what I've seen, most people kind of look away. They go, oh, like a private moment, you don't want to barge in. And so when you get a note or a poem that's written like that, it's a very intimate experience, because there's no greater intimacy, in my opinion, than reading the thoughts of somebody put down on paper, because it's them bearing their soul, and it's only for you, because only you can read it at that point. So it's you and that person's thoughts, and you're being connected. And so whoever would read that would put it down, and they wouldn't scroll down to the bottom. It's like, yeah, Usopp and some thug, they've been taken on here, but you know, Robin's on this train as well. I gotta go save their ass. You know, I know where this is going, but they're part of our crew. I gotta do what I gotta do. And so I like that. That was a very clever move by Sanji, just seeing that. Now, I do want to say this though. Oda really knows how to go for the emotional part. You know, in the anime, if they have the music timed just right, this could be a very good scene, because we see Robin looking out at the train station right after, I believe, we get this moment where somebody says, I believe it's Nami, where Nami's talking about how Robin is going to throw her life away. But or it's right after. It's either before or right after. But you have this moment where Robin's looking out and she's reflecting and she's thinking about how she told Luffy, your crime was letting me live. And it's ironic because she charged him with the crime and look where she's going. And you could just tell with the way that half her face is shaded out and she ends up looking down and covering her face, just overcome with all that emotion, thinking about the time she first joined the Straw Hat crew and out of everything she's done to protect them, just knowing all of that and the fact that she's taking a train ride to the last place you want to be taken if you're a pirate. She's been on the run for 20 years. Like, this woman has made an incredible sacrifice, man. Like, I love Nico Robin after this, man. Like, just that one moment right there, that's probably one of the top moments in One Piece, man. Like, this hit me just as hard as when Luffy put the hat on Nami's head. Like, it hit me just as hard. Right after Luffy kept Nami from taking that knife and just plunging it deeper inside of her, this hit me just as hard as that. Like, and it's very ironic that both of those chapters ended with somebody getting knocked the fuck out. Like, Oda's just like, okay, enough of that sympathetic shit. Bam! Like, that's very telling. But that moment hit me right there. Like, if I'm just reacting right now, I put that as my number 2 moment in One Piece. So that was a very nice moment. I did like the comedy that we got in this chapter where Nami, she's sitting down and you think she's crying, right? And at first, I bought into it too, because I'm thinking, damn, Nami was almost there. So close. Almost got there. And then Nami just burst out. She's got the wildly animated face, and she's just like, give me a fucking ship. I'm a navigator, damn it. I'm going to go save her ass. She's not doing this. And I just like the fact that even though Nami knows how rough these seas are going to be, Nami's just like, this shit is not stopping me. I'm getting my friend. And you just see that mama bear come out of Nami, man. Like, you just see that. And I believe I said this earlier on during Water 7, but I got that feeling that Nami was the mama bear out of the Straw Hat Pirates. And now you just see it come out. That was so beautiful. That was a really good touch by Oda for this chapter. Overall, pretty good. I did like the fact that the tide right now is stronger than the waves that happened the previous year with Agua Luna. I thought that's pretty telling. And I'm wondering if Oda's actually going to go here with it. Because if I'm not mistaken, there was talk that the island would one day go underwater. And we're at that, call to action moment for his for students, where they've just left their inmost cave and now they have to make a decision. And I'm really wondering if Oda's just going to go to the point where Water 7, the whole thing goes underwater. Because everything else up top was already built off of water. And just one more thing. I was looking at the earlier part of this volume. Oda has a quote from 2005. And I want to say it was like 04, 05. Hurricane Katrina took place. A lot of New Orleans was underwater. And I'm just really, really curious. I know Oda plans a lot of shit out. But at the same time, real life makes its way into art at times. And I'm really curious if he takes that approach. Because that made huge news. But also, because I'm not going to be one of those arrogant, pompous assholes who says, what happens in America is just worldwide news. You got to keep in mind, during that same time, there was a tsunami out in the east, in the Asian part, where a lot of shit was underwater. So I'm wondering if those two events, or probably what happened over there in the Pacific, but I'm wondering if those events, if he does decide to sink this place, if that's what inspired that direction. That would be pretty cool, man. That would be pretty cool just to see that. But my chapter question to you guys is, on a scale from 1 to 10, right? How big were the feels, man? How big were the feels? And you saw Robin thinking back to when she first joined the Straw Hats, and then she came to grips with her fate and the direction that her life is now taking. What were your thoughts on that? 1 to 10, how strong were the feels? But overall, pretty good chapter, guys. If you like anything I had to say, hit that like button as it really helps out the channel. Don't forget to comment and subscribe if you're new. Don't forget to share. Thank you for watching Kryptonian Saiyan, guys. Have an awesome